In sports in general, and baseball specifically, acceleration is going to be where you spend most of your time sprinting, all right? It's the first few steps, changing direction, taking off towards the base or whatever it may be. Acceleration is the key to being a really athletic baseball player, all right? But acceleration is not the same as top-end running. And there are certain tenets of acceleration that are very different from what you look like when you're actually in top-end running. The mentality is the same. It's about violence, it's about aggression into the ground, it's about pushing the ground as hard and as fast as you can. But the mechanics behind it do alter a little bit, and we need to understand the basics of each one of these, right? So we're gonna go through acceleration, we're gonna touch a little bit on what transitioning into top end looks like, and then what your top end or maximal velocity looks like. On the acceleration side, you got three components of it, or three tenets of it. The first one is your projection, and that's how you push your body out. All right, it's about getting from here to here. Notice I didn't say staying low and trying to drive down here, because that is not what projection is. Projection is all about getting the body out into space and creating that momentum. It requires specific shin angles. It requires you pushing into the ground at that certain angle. It requires stiff ankles and strong feet, and it requires a lot of hip and a lot of quad action. That's what acceleration is about, okay? What we don't want to see when we accelerate is a lot of stuff like kickback, right? Or leg raising, or a lot of shuffling side to side. We want to see everything projecting linearly behind you and pushing your body forward. So projections is tenet number one. Tenet number two is rhythm. There's a rhythm to sprinting. Sprinting starts with a lot of ground contact, and every step you get a little less time on the ground, which means you get more and more time in the air. But with that means that you got to be able to push the ground even harder, because you do have less time to create as much force or more force than the step before. And then the last part of it is the rise, right? The last tenet is rising, because sprinting is not about staying low as you've been taught, or a lot of you guys have been taught for a long time. Sprinting is about pushing myself into a tall position. That is maximal sprinting. That is what the goal of sprinting is to push myself to a tall position. That's what's going to be optimal for you. So in doing so, every step you want to see the hips rising a little taller and a little taller, and you want to see the foot striking from a horizontal position to a vertical position. And each step is going to be a little bit more vertical as we go down the track or down the field.